Good evening, one. Good evening. It's an amazing evening, and I want to thank everyone that's going to tune in to this really good, dope video that's talking about the flood, right, of Noah. We talking about Noah, three sons. Noah really had four sons. He had four sons. One of his sons died in the flood. But we talking about the three sons, right, that helped populate, right, the world as we see it today. We definitely is going to basically talk about this. Yes. We're going to talk about this good content, right? The reason why I'm talking about this is because one of my viewers got in my comment, and it wasn't that he was being disrespectful. It's just that it seems like he was uneducated. And I'm going to take my time with this. I'm going to be really slow with this, as I'm giving you insight from the spiritual realm. Now, first and foremost, you don't see no scriptures here. I don't have no scriptures with me here. I don't have scriptures here. I don't have any notes. The notes and scriptures and experience is already inside of me. The reason why I'm saying that is because when you are blessed with insight and when you are blessed with intelligence, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, the Alpha, Omega, the creating everything existing, instill in you knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and give you insight of the spiritual realm for things that people may not know, that you may not know, right? We've been indoctrinated to believe what we see and not what we don't see. And what I mean by that, right, is the Alpha, Omega, the creating everything existing. It is your own self. It's your spirit. What's up? How you doing? Good evening. Right? You believe that your spirit is a conscience. Yes, it's a conscience, but it's the Alpha Omega, and the Alpha Omega is it with limitations. And I really want to get in this dope content because I want you to understand that Noah's sons and everything after the flood is the second coming of mankind. It is not the first mankind, the first coming of mankind, right? When they was told to populate the earth, that is the second coming of mankind, because the creator, the Alpha, Omega, the creating everything existing, wiped everybody out and everything out during the flood time. And who was the people during the flood time? Let's talk about it, right? And we don't talk about it. A lot of people don't talk about it because we don't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to talk about it, right? We just base everything on these books, which is scriptures, and all of these civilizations. It's the second coming of mankind. It's the second coming of mankind. It is not the first coming of mankind. And who is the first coming of mankind? The first coming of mankind is Abel. Is Abel descendants. Abel descendants. Everybody that was on that ark, those are the first coming, right, of mankind. Those are the ancient ones, right? And during the flood, the whole earth and the whole plateau of the earth, the land of the earth was together, because the creator says it. He says it. He said mankind was but of one. Mankind was but of one, and this earth was one, at one big body. Everything was one big body, one big mass of land. This is an actually true fact. And this is why when archaeologists go around to different regions of the earth, they find actually skeletons all over the place. And you know who these individuals was? They was melanated people. Because at the time, you didn't have Chinese, you didn't have white people, you didn't have any of them. These was all melanated people. This is why the rainbow is there. After when Noah came out the ark, the rainbow was there to bridge the gap and to bring different colors, different civilizations. Do you understand that? This is the second coming of mankind. This is the second coming of mankind. But before the flood, this big body of land, right? There was Abel and Cain. Abel and Cain. It's actual facts. From Adam, peace and blessings be upon him. From Eve, peace and blessings be upon him. Right? For Cain and Abel. Right? And this entity. So we're going to talk about this, right? The Creator talks about Cain and Abel. He talks about Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel are brothers, twin brothers. They are melanin brothers. Melanated brother, dark pigmentation brothers. At this time, there was no other pigmentation. There was no white people. There was no Bible. There was no Quran. There was no Torah. There wasn't none of that. None of that existed. We over here in the West, come from that civilization. We come from the first civilization of mankind that didn't have scriptures, that didn't talk, that didn't write down anything. We lived in the earth. We talked telepathically to the Alpha Omega, the Creator, and everything in existence. He walked with us and we walked with him. We used to transform our spirit in and out our body freely every day. This is an actually true fact. Right? So, what happened was, I'm going to speed up a little bit because I don't want to make it a really, really drawn out conversation, but it's going to be drawn out. Cain killed Abel. Cain killed Abel out of jealousy. This is Cain. This is Abel land right here, which we call America. America, Canada, Mexico, and South America are all connected, as you can see on the map. And these are Abel lands. And these are our allies. This is an actually true fact. After the flood, we came back to our lands. This is an actually true fact. And I need for you to understand that. You see, in scriptures, in all of these scriptures, it's the second coming of mankind. Do you know why scriptures were sent down? A lot of people don't know why scriptures were sent down. A lot of the scriptures, right, were sent to the Middle East. A lot of scriptures were sent to the Middle East. Because you know why a lot of scriptures were sent there? Because that was over there where it was dumb, deaf, and blind, and the people was living in darkness. Do you understand? I want you to understand that. Meaning spiritually. I'm not talking about mathematically. I'm not talking about science. I'm not talking about chemistry. I'm not talking about being a surgeon and brain surgeon and none of that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about spiritually. Because you could be dumb, deaf, and blind spiritually and not inclined spiritually. You understand? I could be a mathematician. I can be I could know astronomy. Be a master at that. Be a master builder. Use telekinesis and everything. But spiritually, I'm dumb, deaf, and blind. And spiritually is the foundation. So messages kept going over there. We are the messengers. Messengers and insight and spirituality start with us because we are the descendants of the first man in existence. This is an actually true fact over here in the West, in the West, in the West. This is an actual true fact. We are not African. African, Europe, all that is the second coming of mankind. And during the flood and before the flood, was there any civilization, meaning other pigmentation? No. No, it was only this one pigmentation. Melanated people. Melanated people. This is why the Creator created that rainbow and bridged the gap to be the sign and said, listen, I'm going to bring other civilizations. This is an actually true fact. And this is spiritually. You're not going to find this in scriptures. You see, the scriptures tell you the second coming of mankind. The Creator does not go back into the, how you want to say it, into the dark times of mankind. So to say, dark times. And what I mean dark times, that was the time where there was belief and non-belief, belief and non-belief, belief and non-belief. And at that time, people, the indigenous descendants, right? People knew and understand that they were the Creator and the Creator was them, but with limitations. It's an actual true fact. They was blessed with certain technologies, certain powers that no other nation that we see now have to this day. And as you can see and tell, the indigenous descendants over here in the West, in the West, in the West, have those traits of the ancient ancestors. Because what? We the one built the computer chips. We the one built the internet. We the one built the ironing board, the irons, the refrigerators, the AC units, the TVs, antennas, the cars. Everything that you can say, we procreated. We procreated. So all of those abilities and everything that we see today came amongst able descendants. This is actually true facts. This is an actual true facts. And the reason why I'm explaining to this, because this gentleman, he got in my comments and he didn't disrespect me, right? He just said some things that I didn't like, right? So I'm going to get into it. He said, you need to stop preaching what you do not know or understand. The Americans and Caribbeans belong to a people called the Tyrants, and the son of Japheth, aka the Armax, who is a seafaring people. The whole of the West and North belongs to Japheth. Africa is the South and belongs to, I could tell he don't understand. He said Negroes, right? Only. The Middle East belonged to the Indians and Shem. See, the land was never separated. The world divided into 4 courts. Shem got the middle, Ham got the south, and Japheth got both west and north Africa. Shem at the Red Sea, which is where Egypt borders and Palestinian. I didn't dispute with you about that. I never dispute with you about that. That's an actual fact. But this is the second coming of mankind. You see, when I talk from a period of the first coming of mankind. See, this is where we bridge the gap between having insight, spiritual insight, and going beyond and having the intelligence and being blessed by the Alpha Omega, the Creator and everything in existence, right? To have insight of the what? The spiritual realm and things that he has not talked about, that he briefly talked about, and he does not get into details about it. Unless he love you, unless he vibe with you, he would give you things. Now you can see I don't have no books here. I don't have any notes. Everything that I talk about, it comes from a spiritual sense, a spiritual realm, which you may not have access to. This is why you was talking from what? A second point of view, a second civilization of mankind, of Japheth, Shem, and Ham. Yes, that's the second coming of mankind. We are the first coming of mankind. We are the first coming of mankind, the descendants over here in the West, in the West, in the West. We never went back to Africa. We always came back in our land, and these are the lands of Abel over here in the West, in the West, in the West, in the West. This is actually true facts. We are not the same civilization. The Africans, and over here in the West, we are not the same civilizations. This is actually true facts. Spiritually. And when you understand it spiritually, right? When you understand it spiritually, then you will become spiritually inclined to do what? To drop knowledge, wisdom, understanding to the dumb, deaf, and blind. And the dumb, deaf, and blind meaning spiritually. You see, we've been taught to believe and be indoctrinated by scriptures, which is scriptures is okay, but scriptures came about later on in the second coming of mankind, because the Creator knows that there was no scriptures before the second coming of mankind. The scriptures came about because he had to wipe all of that out, the first coming of mankind out, because you know why? They was actually saying with the help of this entity that they are the Alpha Omega, and the Alpha Omega is him. But it's true. But they took it to a whole nother level. Now, Cain and Abel, because somebody got in my comment asked about Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, peace and blessing be upon him. They both were dark melanin brothers, dark pigmentation. The Alpha Omega, the Creator, snatched Canaan spirit out of his body and snatched his melanin out of his body and embraced him. When Cain killed Abel, what happened was that stained the existence, that stained the world, Canaan. And what happened is a portion of the earth became cold. Do you understand that? See, you don't understand that because the Creator does not get into it with you. You don't have the knowledge. And what I'm talking about, the spiritual knowledge. See, you only basing your understanding on what you read. You basing your study and your genealogy on what you read in the second coming of mankind. The Creator does not talk about the first coming of mankind, which is through Adam, peace and blessings be upon him. He doesn't talk about the period of what? Of Adam and Noah. He doesn't really talk about, he doesn't really get into it. Do you understand that? He doesn't really get into it. Because this was the time where the people had knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and experience to know that they are the Alpha Omega, and the Alpha Omega is them, but with limitation. They actually was using telekinesis to actually lift up objects with their mind, because he blessed that upon mankind, right? So when Cain killed Abel was going to get all of us back up. This entity got kicked out from being up for being disrespectful, and he was placed upon this earth for eternity. He's not allowed up. This is an actually true fact. This entity does not have a spirit. He has a soul, but he doesn't have a spirit, because the spirit is the Alpha Omega, and the Alpha Omega is it. A piece of his glory, a piece of his energy, a piece of his everlasting, no beginning and no end. That spirit, that's exactly what it is. This is actually true facts. And this is coming from a spiritual realm. He talks about it, but he don't get into depth. If he love you, then he will drop understanding and knowledge upon you. You see, a lot of individuals that I talk to, I understand that you have dumb, deaf, and blind. That you are basing your understanding on these scriptures. On these scriptures, which is the second coming of mankind. You see, over here in the West, we never had scriptures because the scriptures are us. The scriptures are us. Spirituality are us. Technology are us. We bridge the gap between this life and the next. We have the ability to get us to the next life. Able descendants. This is an actual true fact. But the Creator does not get in. He does not go in details about this, and you don't know that. That's why you base your understand on the second coming of mankind, which is Ham, Shem, and Japheth. But there was mankind that was before Ham, Shem, and Japheth, which is us, the descendants over here in the West. This is an actual true fact. That is the second coming of mankind. Because after the flood, the Creator, because there was only one mankind, melanin people. The people that he destroyed was melanated people. There wasn't white, there wasn't no white, there wasn't Chinese, there wasn't Indian, there was none of that. And during the flood and during the rain, which lasted for a whole year, he started separating the earth. Because he did what? He created one civilization, melanin people. That was that was at that time, that's what it was. Melanated people. Because the more melanated you had, the more melanin you have, the greater is your responsibility towards yourself, towards society, towards your family, towards your community, and towards the universe, and ultimately towards the Alpha Omega, the Creator and everything in existence. Because melanin is in everything. Inanimated things. Inanimated things. Melanin is in everywhere. Melanin. This is actually true facts. So from Adam time to Noah, there was only what you want to call black people. We are not called black people, but I'm gonna talk this terminology which you can understand. From Adam to Noah, there was only black people. And then after Noah, after the flood, there still was only black people. When Noah delegated to his sons to populate the earth, right? And to build other civilizations, to delegate to them, because the earth needed to be repopulated again, right? That's when they started populating the earth and doing the climate and procreating with one another. That's when the skin tone started to change. It started to change because of the rainbow. Because before that, there was only black people, only melanin people. That's an actual true fact. And over here in the West, we are the ancient ones. We are the ancient ones that was blessed with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding over all civilizations. All civilizations, we taught them. This is an actual true fact. See, it's not going to give you to go in detail. You got to be blessed with insight of spirituality. And if you're not blessed with spirituality, you're going to base your understanding on scriptures. Nothing is wrong with the scriptures. We know the scriptures came from the Alpha Omega, but we know and understand that the scriptures is what? It's the second coming of mankind. We know the scriptures were sent down to a portion of people that was dumb, deaf, and blind, that stopped believing in the Alpha Omega, the Creator, and everything existed. That's why scriptures were sent down as a map and the guide for those that lost hope, and those that lost faith, and those that lost guidance and information on who is the Alpha Omega, the Creator, and everything existing, the second coming of mankind. This is actually true facts. But with us, we never had no scriptures. We never had any of that because we are the scriptures. We are spirituality. Do you understand that? The first coming of mankind, which is able descendants. We are able descendants. We are able descendants. So, where did the white people come from? We're going to use this terminology. Where did the white people come from? The white people are our cousins. They are Canaan descendants. They are Canaan descendants. When Cain killed Abel, the Creator snatched his melanin from him and snatched his spirit and left his soul to him and left his free will to him and said, be ye ape, be ye ape, be ye ape, dumb, deaf, and blind. This is an actual true fact. This is an actually true fact. And this is way before the flood. This is way before the flood. When Cain killed Abel, a piece of the world turned cold. It turned cold there. Before that, there was no winter time. There was no snow. There was none of that. There was none of that. So, when a portion of the earth turned cold, the animals had to evolve there. The animals and everything there had to evolve. This is an actually true fact. They had to evolve. They said, what is this? And these individuals was trapped there. Canaan descendants was trapped there. That Canaan had children before he killed his brother, melanated children? Yes, he did. He had children. Canaan, yes, he did. And Abel. They had children. They had wives. This is an actually true fact. They had children. Yes. Was his children melanated? Yes. The Creator still kept those children melanated. He didn't change. He didn't change because before he did the act, his children was already melanated, was already dark-skinned. After when he did the act, when he started procreating after that, being dumb, deaf, and blind and trapped in wilderness and coldness, and he started procreating, that's when the children came albino. This is an actually true fact. And if you see the albinos, their eyes are red, their skin is snow white, and their hair are woolly. Those are the first stages of Cain descendants. This is an actually true fact. I'm telling you this. Yes, I am Muslim. Ambush, yes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Yes. And we need to understand this from this point of view. If you don't understand this. So, Noah's sons is the second coming of mankind. The things I'm talking about and the things I'm telling you about is the first coming of mankind that the Creator don't really talk about. He don't really get into that. Because at that time, it was belief and non-belief. There wasn't no scriptures. There wasn't no Torah. There was no Quran. There was no Bible. There was no scriptures. There was only belief and non-belief. They actually was belief. Non-belief came in with this entity, because he started teaching Canaan how to kill Abel. He was hating on Abel. Abel was going to bridge the gap of getting us back up. Cain backdoored the Creator, the Alpha Omega. Eve backdoored him. Adam backdoored him. And this entity backdoored the Alpha Omega, the Creator, and everything in existence. It's an actually true fact. The only one that stood on business, stood on integrity, stood on loyalty, and stood on respect of worshiping the one Almighty, the supreme being of them all, was able, peace and blessing be upon him. And that's why he was killed. And that's why he was murdered, because this entity wanted everybody to be down with him to dethrone the Alpha Omega. That's exactly. He wanted to get back up. He wanted to get back up amongst the angels and amongst the Alpha Omega and amongst all of that to destroy the Alpha Omega with the human being. This is an actual fact. This is an actually true fact. This has been his plan since day one, since mankind was created. Since the melanated people was created. Dark melanin people was created. This is why he said, you created me from smokeless fire and created him from mud and dirt and the earth and everything else. He hates you. He hates you. I don't care if you're white or black or Spanish, whoever you are, he's going to backdoor you. That is his job, to deceive you, like he's doing now on these major platforms. Do you understand that? I need for you to understand this. Coming from a spiritual point of view. Get in tune with your spirituality. Get in tune with your spirituality. Get in tune with your spirituality. Rise up from being dumb, deaf, and blind. Rise up from being dumb, deaf, and blind. Rise up from being dumb, deaf, and blind. And use your God-given talent, your spirit, which is the foundation to existence of your body, to elevate who you are and save yourself and your family. This is an actually true fact. Rise above the ignorance. Rise above the blindness. Rise above the deafness. This is an actually true fact. So, this is the second coming of mankind. The second coming after the flood. And if it wasn't for Abel standing on business, the whole mankind was going to be destroyed. Do you understand that? Everybody was going to be destroyed. Everybody for backdooring the Creator. Do you understand that? I don't think that you understand that, because the Creator doesn't talk about that. He doesn't go into details about that. It's only speculations through individuals trying to find out the true hidden story on why certain things happen, and they can't figure it out. They can't figure it out because they don't have access to the spirituality. They don't have access to the insight. I'm only the interpreter. I am the interpreter. You have to look beyond. See, the scriptures are only a foundation, a blueprint of the future, the present, and the past. The future and the present and the past. He goes in a little bit of the past. A little bit of it. But he don't go into depth. He go into the future. He goes into the future. And the reason why he goes into the future, he's talking to everyone that have a spirit. Everyone that have a soul don't spirit travel. If you got a soul, you don't spirit travel because you don't have a spirit. And Canaan and this entity don't have a spirit. They're not allowed to spirit travel. Your soul is bound to this earth. You cannot spirit travel. You cannot go up and beyond. This is an actually true fact. And this probably go over your head. Being that we are blessed, able descendants are blessed, we are able to go up and beyond the spirit travel. Your spirit experience spirit traveling at the speed of light. But whether it's conscious or subconscious, you pick up bits and pieces of information. And what happened when it comes back to your body, it upload the information. And then your soul upload the information. Do you understand that? And both of them intertwine different information. That's why when you dream about, yo, listen, I was over here in Brooklyn, or I was over here in Buffalo, I was over here. That is your soul. Your spirit goes beyond. And this entity cannot do that. He's not allowed up. He is bound here to the end of time. And so is able descendants. And who are able descendants? And I'm gonna keep it real with you. The white people may get upset, but you don't have a spirit. It's because what Cain did. Cain did it. If you want to be mad with anybody, be mad at Cain for killing Abel. And listening to this entity, sick, barbaric devil demon, who tricked your grandfather, tricked Canaan, and got his melanin snatched out of his body and his spirit, and him debased. It said, be he ate, dumb, deaf, and blind. You will not return back to the righteous path or the right path. And the right path is what? When your spirit travel beyond the zones of the heavens. This is actually true facts. Yes, this is true. This is true. See, if you don't have insight, if you don't have spiritual insight, and he doesn't give you access, he's not vibing with you. He's not jacking you. He's not going to give you anything. The only thing that you're going to get is information that's based upon this earth. That's it. He's not going to give you access to that. I ain't telling you that. I've been in the spiritual realm for a very, very, very long time. And I'm not sitting up here asking for thousands of views. I'm not sitting up asking for your Cash App and for your Zelles and for Apple Pay, any of that. My objective is to teach you and to warn you on who you are. Now, is the scriptures, do we supposed to live by? Yes. The scriptures, yes. But see, when they brought the scriptures over there, see, when they took our lands, they came with scriptures. Our civilization, we don't have a language. We never talk. Don't you know we are the first civilization? So that was foreign to us. That was foreign to us. Reading and writing and speaking, we were forbidden to do that. The first coming of mankind was forbidden to write down and to speak. We talked telepathically to each other, and sign language was our first language. Do you understand that? We are ancient over here. When you see us, you see the Alpha Omega. When you talk to us and you look through our eyes, you're looking through the eyes of the Alpha Omega. That's how blessed we are over here. We the first. We the ancient ones. We descended from them. You are the second coming of mankind. I don't think you understand this. So you are lost. So I'm here to teach you how to tap into your spirituality. You need to tap in. Scriptures are only a map and the guideline for those are dumb, deaf, and blind. This is an actual fact because the scriptures came to those that were dumb, deaf, and blind. We was never dumb, deaf, and blind. All of the messengers, all of the prophets, all of those that was enlightened ones came from able descendants. Cain was cursed by the universe, by the sun, moon, and stars. Everything in existence cursed him. And his descendants. This is an actual true facts. And he was the base. He was the base. The second coming of mankind, the white people came back after the second coming of mankind. They are not of none of Abel, anyone, no, Cain, his sons, they wasn't a part of that. Cain's sons was all melanin. They was all melanin people. They wasn't white. There was no white. There was nothing there. Let me tell you something. Before, when the Creator said, be ape, we never seen no ape. What's ape? Apes didn't come back. Apes wasn't even mentioned. Wasn't even in creation. What is apes? We was like, what is apes? Apes wasn't here. Cain's descendants was cursed. The sun cursed them. The water cursed them. The birds, the bees, and trees cursed them. And left them in eternal darkness, dumb, deaf, and blind. That's why the albinos have woolly hair, blonde hair, and their eyes are red. The sun, it burns them. That's able descendants. Do you understand that? That's able descendants. Able descendants. Because, even though that wasn't their fault, that's Cain descendants. That's Cain descendants. Cain descendants. Even though that wasn't their fault, what Cain did to Abel, But the Creator says in creation, when I curse someone and leave someone in darkness, who is there that can help them? That's an actual true fact. Who can give them back their melanin? Who can give them back their spirit after he snatched it from them? Nobody. That's what he's talking about. That's what the Creator is talking about in spirit, in scriptures. You have to be spiritually inclined to understand this, and he will bless us upon you if he's filling you. If he's not filling you, you will be the one that's searching and looking through these scriptures trying to find on who you are. Well, on my platform, I teach you who you are and helping you raise yourself up. That's what I'm doing here. What I'm speaking is the truth. The first coming of mankind, not the second coming of mankind. Second coming of mankind is that rainbow. That's why the rainbow is there. That's his promise upon mankind and upon the universe that he's not going to destroy the earth anymore with water, letting it rain constantly. Yes. During that time, evil was rampant. It was rampant. He don't talk about it. He don't talk about it. And pay homage to Abel's descendants and pay homage to Abel. Because without him standing on business, he had free will to go with the entity. He never did. That's why he was killed and murdered, because everything in creation loved Abel. And Abel was about to get us back up there right this second. The reason why we was created for justice and balance upon the earth, to take care of the earth and everything in the earth, outside the earth, on top of the earth, and beyond the earth, in between the universe. Do you understand that? That's why he created us. We is him and he is us, but with limitations. There was some of our ancestors that was bad. They were so powerful that they used telekinesis to actually do what? The spirit travel and to uplift themselves. Yes. Some of the people did it for wrong with this entity. So they had to be destroyed. Before he destroyed them, he had to send warning to them. I'm telling you this. He don't get into this. He doesn't tell you this. We are the aliens. Stop claiming all of these other civilizations, that you Egyptian, that you African, that you all of these other. No, we not. We our own civilization over here in the West. See, what you talking about is the second coming of mankind. We are the first coming of mankind. And everybody that was on that boat, which is an actual true fact, is the first coming of mankind. When they started procreating, right, in the different regions of the earth, that is the second coming of mankind. Yes. It's an actual true fact. So everything start to do what? Start to like, how you want to say it? The first mankind and the first civilization of mankind started getting diluted, started being watered down. Do you understand? Because certain powers and certain things had to be dumbed down. Because mankind was using these gifts, was trying to kill the Creator, was trying to dethrone him with this entity, portions of them. He doesn't talk about that. He doesn't get into it. I need for you to understand that. This is an actual true fact. It talks about it a little bit, but you will be lost if you don't have the knowledge, wisdom, or understanding. You will just speculate. You will just speculate, and you will become a lost one. And I don't want that for you. So the scriptures are here to warn the people. That's right. That is living dumb, deaf, and blind. And I'm talking about spirituality. that time, they were saying that I'm the Lord, that I'm God. That was permissible at that time because it was true. We are him and he is us, but with limitations. But he had to switch it up because it started going to people's head. They started losing themselves. They started doing things they ain't supposed to do with this entity. That's an actual fact. They started to become lost and lost. So scriptures had to come amongst them. No scriptures had to come amongst us because we are the scriptures. We are spiritually inclined. We are him and he is us. Able descendants. Do you understand that? So you need to rise up and respect able descendants. Why do you think this demonic, evil, twisted entity goes so hard on us? Murder us. Took our lands. Why do you think this? Why do you think it keep bothering us? Bothering us. Bothering us. Killing us. Murdering us. Trying to wipe us out. Like no other civilization. Not even Africans. No other civilization ever been through the much pain that we've been through. It's only us because we are the ugly God, right one, the descendants. They had to beat language in us. They had to beat the scriptures in us. They had to beat us to speak and talk and wipe everything out and debase us. And it took a long time of doing it. They had help with this entity, with this entity, with this entity. This is an actually true fact. Brothers and sisters, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, prince and princess out here. We are the first coming of mankind. All of the other civilizations are the second coming of mankind. Scriptures are the second coming of mankind. We didn't need no scriptures because we were so in tune. We talked to the Alpha Omega straight. We didn't need scriptures. We all was the walking scriptures. This is powerful. So know who you are. Know who you are. You are him and he is you, but with limitations. Limitation, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen. Noah's sons is the second coming of mankind when they started procreating. They was the first coming, but then after when they started procreating in Africa and Asia and Europe, they was all dark melanin people. And who went and started teaching the dumb, deaf, and blind? Who started building pyramids upon the earth, displaying the magnificent power and the glory of the Alpha Omega? Was the Africans. They started doing it. They started getting beside themselves, the Egyptians and everybody else. They started getting beside themselves. We told them, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to cause pain and suffering. They taught Canaan descendants that was dumb, deaf, and blind. Because they was in a cold part of the regions. During the flood and after the flood. During the flood and after the flood. The Creator kept that right there. That time. That place right there where Canaan was at, nothing touched that. He put like a force field behind that. To actually true fact. This is coming from the spiritual realm. You're not going to find this in no books. You're not going to find this in no books like the ISIS paper said. I read the ISIS paper that it says that a portion of melanated people got trapped in the North Pole and they lost their melanin because no sun over there. No. What are you doing over there? What are you going over there for? No, they didn't get trapped. They didn't get trapped because they was exploring. They was exploring. The Africans was exploring. So they stumbled upon Canaan descendants and started teaching them, started breeding in with them physically. So they started gaining the knowledge. But what they couldn't give them back is that spirit that the Creator said. They couldn't give that spirit back to them. And this is why I did a big video on the scientists trying to find out your consciousness. Go check that out. The scientist is trying to find your consciousness out, and your consciousness is your spirit. They want that. And this entity want that. They want that spirit, but because they know that bridges the gap between this life and the next, and get into the Alpha Omega, because they don't have the spirit. They have a soul and they have free will. Now, a portion of the white people uphold this entity, and a portion don't. But all of them, they don't have the spirit. I'm sorry. You have a soul and free will, but you don't have a spirit. You don't spirit. You can't go up. You don't spirit travel because you don't have a spirit. Only those that got spirit can spirit travel and beyond. The dreams that you have is only based on this world. It's only based on this world right here, this physical world. You're not allowed up. The Creator debased you because you killed Abel. You killed Abel. And this entity, a portion of your keep upholding this entity. He has backdoored you. Did he get you up yet? Did he find you a new planet yet? No. He's been lying to you ever since he killed Abel. That's an actually true fact. And got you debased. He the one got your melanin snatched out of your body and your spirit. It wasn't Abel. It wasn't us. So if you want to be mad at this entity. The white people, yes, be mad at the entity. He did it to you. He did it. He did it. It wasn't us. And yes, Cain is melanin dark skin. Yes. Because we got the records saying that you wasn't on that boat. You wasn't there during that time. You was trapped. I'm telling you that. And you was debased. And the Africans find you. You know what to be true. You know what to be true. We was never dumb, deaf, and blind. We've always been spiritually inclined. Actually true facts. And I want people to know that and understand that the Bible and the Quran and everything is the second coming of mankind. It's the second coming of mankind. It's the second coming of mankind. We are the first. That's why we are ancient. This is why this thing is killing us. And this is why it's a big campaign for me to warn us and tell us to stop killing each other. Because if you kill one of us, it's like you're killing the whole future, the whole humanity. This is how important we are to existence and beyond this existence. Do you understand who you are? Able descendants? I don't think so. On this platform, I teach you with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And we know the scriptures are true. Yes. It's actual facts. So I'm not speaking up against scriptures. But the scriptures are for those that lost their way. There's new laws and regulation came down because mankind was doing too much. And I'm telling you the truth. So he put dormant some of our abilities like telekinesis and telepathically. You understand that? That's still there. So this is the truth. So if you look at these things, that's the second coming of mankind. To ask true facts. So I want you to understand that I have an amazing evening. I didn't mean to make this too long. Please like, share, subscribe to this dopest, one of the dopest channels out on YouTube. I got my sister Fatima in the back holding me down. Mwah. I love that sister. That's right. Beautiful queen, indigenous sister of the earth, of America. To actually true fact. Peace, y'all. Peace, 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 peace.